Hello, Jenny. Is anything the matter? Hi, Laura. I was just wondering if you were on your way, that's all. Pardon? On my way? Where am I supposed to be going? Oh, didn't Dom say anything to you? The new car that Dad ordered months ago is finally ready today, so the whole family was going for a test drive and then have dinner together, you see? Have they changed their car? This is the first I've heard about any of this, to be honest. Excuse me? You didn't even know that they were changing their car? That's strange. From what I've heard, Dom bought Dad the car as a 60th birthday present, you see? What? You're saying that Dom bought Dad a car as a birthday present? This is honestly the first I've heard of it. Oh, I hope that I haven't spoken out of turn or anything. Surely he should have spoken to you before buying something like that, though, shouldn't he? I hope he wasn't trying to keep the fact that he bought it a secret from you. You know the prices of cars these days. I was certain that he'd have spoken to you before buying it. I was even teasing him that the two of you were showing off by getting something like that for him for his 60th. Right? I'm quite shocked, to tell you the truth. Jenny, I think I'm going to have to see if I can find out what's going on in a minute. I'll speak to you again soon. Okay, Laura. If you can come to dinner later, I'll see you then. Bye! Hi, Dom. Where are you?
Me? I'm on my way home. I'm nearly there now. Have you finished work?
Yes, I got home just a little while ago. Were you planning to go to your parents' place tonight at all?
Pardon? Yes, I was. How did you find out about that?
Oh, I just got a call from Jenny asking me if I was on my way, that's all. I thought I'd give you a call to check, as it seemed like I was the only person that knew nothing about this meal.
Oh, I did not tell you on purpose. We just decided earlier today, you see? So I was gonna tell you when I got home, that's all.
Oh, were you? I also heard that Dad had got a new car.
Yes, he ordered it, and it's arriving today. That's why we all agreed to meet tonight.
I see. Is that all you have to tell me?
Yes, it is. What else is there to say?
Well, according to Jenny, you bought Dad the car as a 60th birthday present. Is that true?
What? Janine told you that as well? I wonder why she said something like that when she has no idea what she's talking about. Oh, she's caused a huge misunderstanding now, hasn't she?
Are you saying that what Jenny told me was wrong?
Yes, well, half was right and half was wrong. I went with Dad to sign the contract for the car, and I paid the contract fee of $100 and the deposit of $4,000. I paid the deposit as a birthday present to Dad. If that means I bought him the car, then that's what I did. But Mom and Dad are gonna pay the rest in installments.
Are you telling the truth?
Of course. Have I ever lied to you about anything big like this before? Why do you not believe me? If you don't, I guess you could just ask Mom and Dad later when we see them, couldn't you?
I guess.
Or I guess you could just call Dad and ask him now if you really wanted to. We don't even have a lot of savings or anything at the moment. How do you think that I could have bought Dad a car? I wish I actually had the money to be able to do something like that.
Even so, you should have spoken to me before he signed the contract, shouldn't you? How is it right that Jenny knew that you bought Dad a car for months and I only found out by accident today? I didn't even know that they were going to change their car. I felt like such an idiot when she told me, you know?
I forgot all about it.
How can you just forget something like that? It's really bad of you spending not even $400 but $4,000 without even mentioning it to me. If you wanted to pay the deposit for your dad's car as a 60th birthday present, you should have told me. It's not like I would have refused or anything like that. I have just liked to be consulted first, that's all.
I'm sorry, I really forgot about telling you. I was actually planning to tell you today on the way to Mom and Dad's place. I really wasn't trying to hide it from you because I thought you'd disapprove or anything like that, so don't think like that, okay? I just got the timings wrong, that's all. I really did mean to tell you about it all.
How could you possibly forget about something this important? Everyone except me knew about it as well.
I know, I made a mistake. I was wrong. How about I do all the cleaning and throw out the trash this weekend to show you how sorry I am? Anyway, I'm right outside the house now. I'll give you 100 kisses to apologize.
No, I'm okay, thanks.
I've always looked for secondhand cars before, but driving a brand new car really is something else, you know? I guess this is why people are always going on about how good new cars are.
That's very true. You really like it, don't you? You're always asking your friends what they drove, and we're really jealous by their answers, but now you'll probably have the best car amongst the lot of them, won't you?
Yes, I will. We're meeting next week, and I'm already looking forward to showing off my new car. Dad, you really are funny sometimes. You're looking forward to showing off your car like you're a small child or something. Well, it's worth bragging about, isn't it? Look at it. The car that my boy Dom got me for my 60th. Well, I paid the deposit for it anyway. That was a really big thing though, wasn't it? I guess these days not many sons would even do that for their parents, right, Mom?
The deposit? Oh, yes, I remember now. We got the contract and everything sorted really easily, too, thanks to Dom. It's a lot better for us now we don't have to pay the deposit. It's taken a huge weight off our shoulders.
Yes, of course it did.
I only actually heard about any of this today, you know. If I had known at the time, I would have gone to help as well.
No, it's fine. We know how busy you are. We don't need you to waste your time coming with us too. Dom sorted it all out for us fine on his own. Anyway, Dom paying the deposit for us like that means that you did as well, doesn't it? I'd better thank you as well, hadn't I? Oh, thank you so much, Laura. I didn't really think much about it being my 60th, but after getting such a good present for my children, I feel really lucky to have you all.
I feel the same.
You'd better look after yourself and stay healthy, Dad. We're gonna make even more of a fuss for your 70th, you see? I'll look forward to it. I'd better look after myself so that I live long enough to be able to enjoy all of this, hadn't I?
What is going on? Why does everyone seem to be so flustered?
It's your dad's 60th soon, isn't it? Do you and your sister have anything planned for his birthday?
We were going to take Dad to the French restaurant that he likes, but apart from that, not really. Oh, Emily said that she saw something on Instagram about a cake with a twist. I think it was made of dollar bills or something like that. I didn't really understand what she was talking about, to be honest.
Oh, really? I'm sure your dad would love that. I guess we could just give your sister some money towards that, couldn't we?
Dom, I've been thinking about something for about a month now, you know. Last year, for your dad's 60th, you paid the deposit on a car for him, didn't you? I was wondering if we could do the same for my dad for his 60th. What do you think?
Oh, you want to pay the deposit on a car for your dad as well? Did your dad say that he was going to get a new car?
Yeah, he did. Mom and Dad are the only people who ride in the car now, but as you know, it's an 8-seater, isn't it? He was thinking of getting a sedan or something instead because they have no need to drive a huge car like that anymore. Dad wasn't going to pay in installments but pay for the whole thing up front in cash, so I was wondering if we could give him $4,000 toward it. The same as you gave your dad, that's all.
That's quite a good idea, but I don't think we can afford that much at the moment, you see. We went on vacation with them not long ago, and I think we can't not think about our finances right now, you see. We're spending a lot more than we expected to recently, and I just don't think that we can spare that much money. The rates of return on the fund that we joined before isn't great either. There's a limit to the amount of money that we can earn, and if we keep spending big chunks of it like this, we won't have any spare savings to use if we suddenly need them for something important.
That is true, I guess, but I don't think it's fair that when it was your dad's 60th, you just spent all that money without even saying anything to me, but now that it's my dad's birthday, you say that we don't have enough money?
I told you before I paid the deposit for Dad's car with the bonus that I got from work. It was clearly something extra that I had earned. Don't you think that that was the least that we could do for them?
If you're going to be like that, the bonus that I got from work was actually my money, but I put it into our joint living expenses account. I felt certain that you'd be okay with giving Dad the money for his birthday, seeing as it's only the same as what we did for your dad. But to be honest, I'm quite shocked and disappointed with how negative you're being about it.
The situation's changing all the time, isn't it? It can't be helped. Instead of paying the deposit now, why don't we buy him a car later? I promise that I will let you do that.
If he buys a new car now, he won't need to change it for years, if at all. That's a really stupid thing to promise when it might never happen.
You never know, he might want to change it again. Let's think about it then. That's what I'm saying, as we can't afford it now. You could buy your dad something that he wants or needs for this birthday instead of the deposit for his car. How can you know that he won't want to get another car in the future? No one can know something like that. Oh, what's wrong? You look really mad. Are you upset because I said that you can't do what you wanted to do?
I was just wondering why our finances are so bad that I can't even spend $4,000 how I want to, that's all. If you add both our wages together, we make quite a bit of money every month, you know?
Look, I'm just a bit hesitant to spend that kind of money in one go right now, that's all. You don't have to worry about our finances or anything like that. We just seem to be spending a lot recently, so I thought that maybe we should be a bit more careful with our money.
Everything you've said up until now are things that make me worry. Then at the end you say that there's nothing to worry about? That doesn't even make sense. Surely you can see that.
Why don't we take your mom and dad out somewhere for a day trip when we finished at the French restaurant instead? I'm sure that they would like that, wouldn't they? I'll find somewhere really nice for us to take them. Dad, I've booked your car in for a service tomorrow. I've paid for it all, so all you have to do is give them your keys. They'll pick up the car, service it, then drop it back at your place for you when it's all done. Oh, that sounds very convenient. Thank you for doing that for me, Dom. As the car's white, it looks dirty even if the slightest bit of muck gets on it.
He really does take pride in his new car, you know. He's always taking an interest in it, cleaning it, wiping it down. I'm quite jealous, to be honest.
What is there to be jealous of? Didn't Dom get you a gold bracelet not too long ago?
A gold bracelet? From Dom?
Oh, I used the gold that I already had at home to get it made for her. I didn't buy it for her as such.
So you didn't sell the gold like you told me you were going to, but you got a bracelet made for your mom with it instead?
I was originally planning to sell it, but my mom said she was going to buy a gold bracelet anyway, you see? Even if I sold the gold, I'd have hardly got any money from it anyway, so I decided to get Mom her bracelet as a present instead.
Didn't you realize how expensive gold is right now? And yes, you decided, again, without saying a single word to me about it. You got your dad the car, your mom a gold bracelet. Why are you doing so much for your parents without mentioning a word of it to me?
Let's talk about this later, Laura, not now. Oh, yes, while I think of it, your third cousin is getting married soon. You'll both be coming, won't you?
Lots of people choose not to even get married these days, but why does our whole family seem to be rushing to get married recently? All of these weddings are costing me a fortune. I've already been to 2 this month, even. Everything is so expensive these days, isn't it?
It's just because our family is so big, I guess. It can't be helped, can it?
Family? We don't even see each other normally. What's the point of having a big family when you don't see each other and don't help each other out? They only call at birthdays, Christmas, weddings, when they want money from us. Who's the person that Dad was talking about? The one that's getting married? I don't think I've even met them, have I? No, you won't have met them. They're really distant family, you see. Oh, I understand. They're getting married in LA, I think. We could all go together in your car. I think that would be for the best. We don't need to take both cars now, do we? Our car? You mean that we have to go as well? Of course you do! Even if they aren't that closely related to us, they're still family at the end of the day, aren't they? Well, that's true, but surely it'd be okay if you and Dad went to represent our part of the family? We never even met each other after all. Oh my! I didn't know you had no manners like this. Of course you should go to a family wedding. It's only polite to participate in big family celebrations like this.
That's true. What goes around comes around, as they say. You can't think of money spent on a family like that as a waste. That kind of thinking is no good for anyone.
Just a minute ago, Mom said that she was spending too much money on family weddings and Dad kept quiet. Why are they both now having a go at me for saying pretty much the same thing?
Okay, let's all go together like you said then. We'll have to get them something. It should be okay if we spend about $100, right?
That would look a bit cheap, I think. They are family after all. And if you think of the cost of the meal for the two of you, I think you're looking at least $200.
Do we really have to go? Surely we could just send the present with you and Mom. We aren't even a close family. It seems strange us all going like that, especially if they're having a meal as well.
What are you talking about? Of course you should go. At times like these, you have to all congratulate the bride and groom together, and it'll bring your family luck in the future.
Did they come to our wedding even?
I can't even remember, to be honest. But what difference does that make? That's a really petty way to look at these things, isn't it? If there's no particular reason why you can't go, it's only polite to attend family weddings. You can't just say that you aren't going because they didn't go to yours. That's just ridiculous.
Dad's right. Let's just think of it as a day out and go down with Mom and Dad.
Dom, it doesn't seem like you even really know who they are. You haven't met them even since I've known you either. I don't see why you have to go to someone's wedding just because you're family when you never meet and hardly even know each other, that's all. Do you really not want to go that much? Even if they don't really know each other, they know of each other and know that they're family, so Dom will be expected to be there. If you really don't want to go, don't go. The three of us will go on our own. Me, your dad, and Dom. That'd be fine. It's not that I don't want to go, I just don't understand why we have to, that's all. Even if they're really distant relatives, it's different if you see each other a lot or live near each other, but if you don't even really know— Stop it! How can you possibly call yourself a daughter-in-law when you have no interest in our family whatsoever? I am disappointed in you. I really am. What did I do? See? Answering back again. How dare you speak to us like this? If we say, let's go to the wedding together, you should just agree and go with us. That's the end of it. Why are you arguing with us about how much you see them and how well you know them? You young people nowadays don't know the importance of family. That's enough now. Calm down. There are a lot of things that young people these days just don't understand. You know that. Even your own children don't understand about family and things like that. Why do you expect your daughter-in-law to be any different? Why am I being made out to be the bad person in all this? They get mad and interrupt everything I say? I am so mad right now.
Did you really have to act annoyed like that and not even stay for dinner? Even Janine asked what was wrong a few times. She could tell something had happened by the look on your face. You could have hidden it a bit better, you know?
I said that I'd go home alone. You didn't have to follow me. If you want to stay there and have dinner with your family, go back. I am not stopping you.
Why do you always have to talk like that? How can I let you go all the way home on your own? If you leave with a face saying that your parents-in-law have annoyed you like that, do you think the rest of the family will be able to enjoy their dinner?
Well, they seem to be laughing and having a good time to me.
Hey, Laura, stop being sarcastic like that. It's not a good look. There's a limit to how much people can let you say.
A limit? Your family are the ones that were shouting at me and talking to me like dirt. What did I do?
Does going to a family wedding really need to turn into a huge fight like that? You can just stay at home. It doesn't matter. But you didn't have to go on and on at my parents like that.
The problem wasn't whether I was going to go or not. It was your attitude. Be honest. Have you ever even met the person who's getting married? Even once?
Well,
See? You never even met them. I think it would be perfectly fine for your parents to go to this wedding alone. They should have just said so-and-so is getting married, but you don't need to go. The two of us will go as representatives for this part of the family, and that would have been that. But because you asked them whether we had to go to the wedding of some distant family member that we have never even met, they started having a go at us for even thinking like that. And I ended up looking like the worst person in the world.
Don't you even realize what my parents want? Why they want us to go to the wedding with them? They want us to go there and introduce us and brag to their other distant family members about us. This is my son and my daughter-in-law. They do this. They're living so happily together. Things like that. They want to show off how well I'm doing now that I'm all grown up. Is it really that difficult for you to just listen to them and do what they want you to do?
I just don't understand why they have to do that in front of distant family members that we've never met or even had any contact with before, that's all. Are we just like accessories for your parents?
You are just so selfish sometimes, you know? Are you only family if you see each other all the time? Whether you see each other or not, you're still family at the end of the day.
Okay, I'm just so selfish that I care about nothing else but myself. The only people that are important to me are our little family. Anyway, what is more important to you, being my husband or your parents' son?
What? What on earth are you going on about? Why does there have to even be a rank in things like that?
Well, from where I stand, it seems that me and what I think and feel are right at the back of the queue, and you just want to show what an amazing son you are to your parents. That's all. I really don't know how things can change so much before and after marriage. It's the same as coming back from the bathroom. You just said before we got married that we would only go to see your parents at holidays and birthdays, but now you're like, well, family aren't family unless you see them at least once every couple of months, and we're seeing them all the time. You, my husband, don't even realize that there's a problem and are just enjoying yourself and laughing all the time.
I think that's just the problem with the way that you think. I haven't changed at all since we got married, you know? I don't think that meeting up as a family is such a big problem either, especially now that Dan got married to Janine as well.
I guess you don't think that them totally ignoring their daughter-in-law's opinion is a problem either, do you?
When did they totally ignore you?
Like today. I can't even say what I think anymore. Whenever I say anything, I just get accused of being rude and answering back.
You don't have to take everything so seriously all the time, you know? My parents are hardly ever like this with you. What are you going on about? You're making me feel exhausted.
I feel the same. I don't want to live like this either. You said that we didn't have much money at the moment, so I was thinking about how I could save money on our meals and things like that and getting really worried about it, but then you were suddenly talking about spending $200 on some distant family member's wedding present when you haven't even met them like it's nothing. You are so different when you're with me to when you're with your parents. Listening to you earlier was like you were a totally different person to the one who was saying that we couldn't afford to give my dad that money for his 60th birthday.
$200 and $4,000 are totally different things, aren't they?
Not my family and your family that are different?
What? You're gonna go on about me paying the deposit for my dad's car, but not doing the same for yours again, are you? If that's what's bothering you so much, I'll ask my dad to give me the $4,000 back, shall I? That'll be the end of it then, will it? Would that make you feel any better?
You think you can even say that?
You think I can't?
I am sure you'd be able to ask that really well. I also know that there's no way that he'd give it back, even if you did ask for it. All I wanted to say was don't act like you can do whatever you want where your parents are concerned, and don't be swayed only by things that are going on in your family. That's all. I guess I was expecting too much from you. I really don't know if I can trust you enough to keep this marriage going anymore.
Keep this marriage going? Why are you suddenly saying things like that? Is this all really that big of a deal to you? So you're saying that you would even consider divorcing me over this, are you?
Well, why shouldn't I?
So, you're even playing the divorce card now. Well, No, let's do this now. I'm not gonna keep this argument going for any longer. It's just pointless. Of course you're the only one who knows what you're talking about, and you're the one who was always right.
Oh, don't pretend to be holding back on what you want to say when you really have nothing to say. Oh, so that's what was wrong earlier. You looked really angry when you left, you know. I wondered what had happened. I think if the three of them ganged up on me like that, I would have reacted the same and got really angry just like you did. I don't know what they're all thinking. Especially Dom. He should have stood up for you and stopped them, not join in as well. Mom and Dad seem to be a lot more strict with you than they are with anyone else, you know. They asked us about the wedding too, but when we said that we didn't think that we'd be able to come, they didn't even mention anything about it again. Well, that'll be because Dan answered in such a way that they knew that they couldn't change his mind. If Dan says no to Mom and Dad with that serious look on his face, they can't argue with him, you see. Dom, on the other hand, is just so weak. He just ends up doing whatever his parents want him to, even when he told me he was going to do the opposite before. Dan is a bit like that, isn't he? Mom went up to Dan earlier and told him that her fridge was broken. He was like, "Why are you telling me that?" Mom was wanting to ask him to buy her a new one, wasn't she? But she just said that she said it because she suddenly remembered. She didn't have the stomach to ask him to buy her a new one after he'd answer her like that. Wow, really? I can't believe that Dan and Dom are even brothers sometimes. You know, they're just totally different from one another. Dom could never have said anything like that to his mom, not in a million years. I think siblings usually have pretty different personalities like that. I think Mom and Dad expect more from Dom as well, with him being their firstborn and everything. The main problem is that he tries to live up to those expectations all the time, pandering to their every need and spending all of our money on ridiculous presents for them. To be honest, the thing that made me so mad about this whole wedding thing is that the same pattern seems to be repeated over and over again. If we were in the beginning stages of our marriage, fine. I would probably have thought that it was okay to just go. I was always the weak one in front of Mom and Dad, so I was always unhappy with what was going on. I just wanted to deal with the situation wisely, but whenever I asked or proposed anything, the answer from Mom and Dad and Dom was always just no. So I got really mad when maybe I shouldn't have. I don't want to fight and argue over every little thing, but because he seems to favor his parents in every single situation, I can't help but comparing how he treats his parents compared to how he treats mine. You understand what I'm trying to say, don't you? I don't know why I'm telling you all of this. I'm really sorry. You don't want to hear me moaning about our in-laws like this, do you? It's fine. We've known each other for a long time and we're in a similar situation after all. If I get told off or have an argument with Mom, I phone you too, don't I? Anyway, I think you are amazing having the courage to speak your mind like that. Even though Dan is pretty good at cutting Mom and Dad off before they go too far, I still sometimes get really mad at Mom and Dad. But because I'm still so young, I guess I can't manage to say anything at all. I think it's great how you say no straight away to things that you don't agree with. Great? In the end, no one even listens to me, so it doesn't make a difference. I'm sure that you've changed more than you think. If I'm honest, Mom and Dad let us go earlier in the holidays now, and we meet a lot less than we used to as well. Anyway, you've told them what you think about going to the wedding now, so try not to think any more about it. If they really want to go, they can go by themselves, can't they? I guess. What's wrong? Are you still angry with them? No, it's not that. I feel a lot better now that I've spoken to you about it, actually. I think that's the problem. What problem? I told you that I mentioned divorce this time, didn't I? To start with, I thought that I just said it impulsively because I was so mad with the whole situation, but the more I think about it, maybe divorce is what I've been unconsciously thinking about for some time now. No, you can get divorced. What would I do on my own without you around? I don't know, but I don't think I can stay married to Dom just because of you. I really don't see a future with Dom anymore. I don't know how many more times I can stand to fight with him about the same things either. I just think that maybe it'd be better just to end it. That is true. If you keep fighting about the same things over and over again, but nothing ever changes, what's the point? Shall I ask Dan if he will try to talk to Dom about the problem of their parents being able to walk all over him all the time? If his brother spoke to him directly about something like that, he might listen, mightn't he? Don't you think that's worth a try at least? No, it's fine. I think it'll just mess up their relationship more than anything else, and I wouldn't want to be the one that caused that to happen. Don't worry about it. The problem is in our marriage, so it's up to the two of us to try and sort it out. Good luck, and stay strong. Thank you for listening, Jenny.
I think we need to talk. I'm sorry, I lost my temper a bit back there. I know now that you must have been uncomfortable in that situation, but I didn't even consider how you might be feeling and only thought about myself. My parents really expect a lot from the two of us, you know? I know they have Dan too, but me being the oldest seems to bring a lot of responsibility with it, in their eyes at least. They're conservative, so that makes them want to keep me even closer, and I just thought that they were extending that parental love onto you as well. I didn't realize that how they act towards you would make things hard for you. I won't go to the wedding this time, just like you said. I'm gonna tell Mom and Dad to go, just the two of them. Laura, say something. Are you even listening?
Yes?
If you tell me what you find most difficult and what problems you have with all of this, I'll try my hardest to understand. So can't you just try to understand my situation a bit as well? I'll put us before taking care of my parents from now on. So, what you said about divorce, you're the only girl who understood when I said that I wanted to get married, but I didn't want to have any kids. Even the thought of you and me breaking up makes me feel terrible. That's all.
I'll tell you the truth about what I've been thinking.
Okay.
I think I'm getting really tired of everything recently.
What do you mean?
At the beginning, I liked you so much that I tried to tell myself that there are lots of people who have worse in-laws than I do, that mine aren't bad. But every time we fight about your family, reality strikes. Why did I get married just to be treated like this? Why am I just trying my hardest to understand you when you keep doing the same things that you promised not to do over and over again? You tried your hardest to help pay for your dad's car even though our financial situation wasn't great. But whenever I want to do something for my parents, you cut me off straight away. That makes me feel really sad and disappointed, you know. Why are you always telling me that we have no money, that the return on our stocks or funds isn't great whenever I want to do something, but you seem to find the money whenever you want to do something? If that money is there, you're making me worry over nothing.
So, what do you want to do? Tell me what it is that you want.
I think we need some time apart.
Excuse me?
I've thought a lot about it, although at the time I sprang the divorce card on you in the heat of the moment. It wasn't a joke. I think I need some time to consider whether or not I want to spend my future with you or not.
Laura.
I don't mind if you leave the house for a while or I do, but I think we need some time apart to think about what we want and what we're going to do in the future. Even if we talk about it now, we just say what we're thinking without even listening to what the other is saying.
Do you really need to go as far as to do this? There's no need for us to stay apart while we're thinking, is there?
I do, yes. I think having some time apart is the right thing to do. This is all I want at the moment, some time on my own to think things through.
Okay, well, I'll leave and stay with my parents or something for a while then. When you've had time to think and want to talk, let me know.
Okay, I will do. So, Laura has decided that she's not even going to come to my 60th birthday because the two of you are separated at the moment? I am not having this. We're letting her get away with murder, we are. She's supposed to be my daughter-in-law.
This time, something feels a lot more serious than anything that has happened before. She usually gets angry, but this time she was totally calm. We haven't even spoken to each other once since she said that we needed time apart to think things through.
She's only acting like that because you always let her get away with everything. It's a really bad habit of hers. What did I tell you? I said you have to be firm with someone like her and nip all this kind of nonsense in the bud. If I had educated her properly about how a wife and daughter-in-law should behave, none of this would have happened.
If you'd done that, I would have been divorced a long time before now. One of my previous girlfriends ended up dumping me because she got fed up with you, don't you remember?
Why are you dredging up the past like this? If you're going to become a member of our family, you have to know how to behave properly. Do you think I had an easy time of it when I got married to your dad? Getting married means you have to make sacrifices as well.
Let's stop this now. You don't have to make this any worse than it already is. Why did you bring up that gold bracelet in front of Laura? Then all the nonsense with the wedding? If she wants a divorce, there's going to be a lot of annoying things to sort out, like the division of assets.
You're sure that she doesn't know about that investment money that you hid, aren't you?
Of course she doesn't know about it. With her personality, if she knew about it, do you think she would have just let it be? If she knew, she would have wanted all the money that she put into it back and would have caused a right scene.
Okay, you've lived together for over 10 years now, so I guess nothing can be done about dividing your assets. But she can't find out about that money. That would be a disaster. That's the money you used to get Dad's car, isn't it? If she knew that you paid for Dad's car for him in full in cash, and we weren't paying for it in installments like she thinks we are, it would be awful.
What do you think I should do then? We don't know what's gonna happen next, so do you think it would be better if I transferred that money to you for now?
Sure, that sounds like a great idea. I could just look after it for you, and when the divorce has been properly finalized, I could send it back to you again, couldn't I?
Okay, I'd better take the bull by the horns and send you the rest of the money.
Wow, did you have this much money left even after buying Dad that car?
Yes, I made Laura think on purpose that she was making more money than I was, didn't I? There's the rest of my salary, plus the profits from the stocks and funds that Laura and I invested in together in there. They've all made me quite a profit, you know? I told Laura that they made less than they really did, and gave her a lot less than what we really made.
I think she must have been looking down on you because she thought that she was making more money than you all this time. Do you think it's easy for a woman to make more money than a man? She should have thought of that, shouldn't she? She's going to be so shocked and upset if she ever finds out the truth about that.
If she finds out, there's no way she's gonna let it go. So let's just leave it there and say no more about it.
I think that's what we're gonna have to do. I hope that she doesn't find out that I've tricked her about how much I've been earning during the divorce either. If she does, that'll be another headache. We don't know if it'll turn into a long-term litigation battle, you see?
Okay, neither of us are going to say anything. Why would we? Anyway, Dom, seeing as you have all that money left, can't you buy me a new car as well?
What? I've only just bought Dad one. Anyway, you're a housewife, aren't you? Why do you need a car? What are you gonna use it for?
What do you mean? Looking at my friends these days, both the husband and wife have their own cars, you know. I'm the only one who has to go to our meetings and places using public transport. Couldn't you just buy me this one thing that I can call my own, please? I want to show my friends that I am well off enough to drive a nice car as well.
It's not just buying the car that costs a lot of money, it's the upkeep as well. Do you know how much it costs to run a car these days? Have you lost your mind? Who buys a car just to show it off to their friends? That's just ridiculous.
Shall I show them our house then? The only thing that I can really show them is a car, isn't it? That's why I want one. Even people who rent houses have nice cars. That's how it goes. We own our house, and you've got a load of money stashed away, so what's wrong about you using a little bit of it to buy me a car?
Oh, Mom, I just can't buy you a car. I just can't. The one that Dad chose cost over $45,000. If you really want one, I'll pay $4,000 as a deposit, but you'll have to pay the rest in installments. I can't pay for another whole car right now.
Why are you treating me and your dad differently? You bought your dad a car. Why do I have to pay for mine in installments? How is that fair?
Can't you just think about me for a second in all of this instead of just yourself? Not long ago, you said you needed a new fridge, so I bought you one, didn't I? Isn't asking for a car as well when I've already got Dad a car and you a fridge and a gold bracelet a bit too much? Don't you think that you're being a bit greedy now? And just think for a second what will happen if I don't get divorced. Can you imagine what Laura's reaction would be when she finds out that I bought you a car on top of all the other things that she already knows I did without talking to her first? She wanted us to buy her dad a car the same way I bought Dad one, you see? I just can't do it.
Anyway, that's the problem with Laura, I think. She picks up on all these things really quickly and easily.
How was I to know any of this would happen?
Stop it, both of you. Laura's definitely got you under her thumb anyway. This really is a huge mess.
Oh my. What on earth has been going on here? He's not only been lying to her about how much his salary really is, but
also about the gains they've made from stocks and funds that they've both paid into?
I can't believe the three of them were working together like that. Laura thought really hard before telling Dom that she thought that they should spend some time apart. How can Dom be so cool and collected about it all? I can't believe that the real reason that Dom doesn't want Laura to divorce him isn't because he'll miss her or feel sorry for her, but because he doesn't want to have to divide their assets in case all his lies get found out. I am really disappointed by this whole family. How can they act like this toward Laura? It's really unfair. I think I'm going to have to tell her what's going on straight away.
You made an inquiry about the division of assets in a divorce litigation, didn't you? We talked about it briefly on the phone, but would you be able to explain everything to me in more detail, please? Sure. Well, while we were temporarily separated because of issues between me and my in-laws, I found out some shocking facts about my husband and parents-in-law, you see. For a start, my husband has been lying to me about his salary ever since we first met. He's also lied to me about the investment gains made from stocks and funds that we had both paid into together, and has been keeping all the extra money from all of these a secret from me. He told me that the stocks and funds had been making a loss, while keeping all the money that our joint investment had made all to himself. Furthermore, he has tried to conceal some of his assets by transferring a large sum of money into his mother's account so that it would be safe from being divided between us in the case of divorce. I am really angry that I have been lied to by him about various things starting from the moment that we met. Oh, I see. I don't know whether this will be of comfort to you or not, but there are more couples in the same situation as you than you'd think. I have dealt with a similar situation a few times, so have experience in these kind of divorce cases. Right. To start with, I'll advise you about what can be included in the division of assets. This includes any property or possessions that you have jointly provided, savings, stocks, and real estate. Things that can't be included are property given to you by your parents and assets or stocks that you obtained before marriage. Can I ask you how the two of you got your house before you were married? Okay, the house that we're living in at the moment was bought with my savings and for money given to me by my parents. At the time, my husband said that he didn't have enough to pay for it. I don't think that was true, though, judging from what I've learned since. Well, in that case, the house is not included in the division of assets and will belong to you. This adds to the level of contribution of your assets. Level of contribution? What's that? In court, the division of assets is basically a fight of who contributed what, you see. The courts decide who has contributed the most and how much effort each party has made. That means that the more evidence you have, the better. Do you happen to have any recordings of calls or messages in which your in-laws explicitly ask for financial compensation? We need to start by disclosing that there is cause for not being able to sustain your marriage any longer. If we manage to show that your husband has been spending your joint wealth one-sidedly on his parents, his level of contribution decreases further, you see. Oh, my phone records calls automatically, so I should have recordings of calls from my mother-in-law asking me for spending money and other things like that. That's good. If you make a full request to our company, we will be able to apply for an inquiry of wealth and possessions order and find out roughly what your husband owns in terms of property, wealth, stocks, etc. If he tries to block this by, for example, concealing his assets and is found out, we can file a lawsuit to get it included, so you don't need to worry about that. Okay, would you be able to get things started for me then, please? To be honest, rather than me wanting to get my hands on the assets, I'm really mad at how much that jerk has deceived me over the years, and can't stand to see him get his hands on anything else that I've worked hard for. Of course, I totally understand that. There is nothing more reliable than legal treatment for a spouse who is openly trying to ridicule the other person. If you choose to put your trust in our company, we will do our best to maximize the level of contribution in your favor.
I'm sure that the lawyer on your wife's side will also be steadily building their case, so I think this will be a hard battle to win. At the moment, all of the circumstances are unfavorable to you. For a start, you hid your real salary from your partner from when you first met, and you also lied about the gains that you received from the stocks and funds that you invested in together, and kept them all for yourself. Also, even though you were both working, you left almost all of the housework to Laura, so that also makes your level of contribution even more unfavorable. The fact that you bought your parents a car and gave them a lot of spending money and other gifts doesn't go in your favor.
Can't you do something about any of this? Can't I just spend all of my money or something right now? Would that help?
No, it wouldn't. Your wife's team have already conducted a survey of wealth and possessions on you, so they know roughly what you have. Even if you spend it all now, you might be liable to give her even more money than you will already.
So you're saying that I'll have to give a huge portion of my money to Laura, is that right? I was the one who chose where to invest it.
There's nothing that can be done, I'm afraid. It wasn't only your money that you invested, it was your partner's money too, you see? That means that your partner is entitled to at least a portion of it.
Oh, this is all so frustrating. What a waste, giving my hard-earned cash to her.
The one thing that we have in our favor at the moment is the increase in value of the house. If the value has increased in the last 10 years after buying the house, we can claim a part of that rise in the division of assets. In this situation, it's very likely that the larger level of contribution will go to your partner. We will do all that we can for you at our end.
The house value wouldn't even have risen enough in that time to make it worth getting a percentage of, surely? I'll still have to give her a lot more than what I will get from that. Isn't there any way that stops me having to give her all of this money? You know, are there any loopholes or anything that we can use in my favor?
There's nothing more that I can do for you at the moment. Any scheme that you try to avoid paying your partner what is owed will only make you end up being judged even more unfavorably in the court case. There's nothing you can do except begging your partner to either delay or call off the divorce. Or you could just accept the situation that you're in now and try to higher our level of contribution by making up some excuse as to why you had no choice but to give your parents that money.
Oh, this is all so annoying. It was nothing.
Thank you for worrying about me. I'll try to return to work again as soon as I possibly can. No, it's fine. I should be the one buying the dinner, surely. Thank you for calling me first like this to check that I was okay. It wasn't a cause for worry. I'm sorry for stepping back at such a busy time.
It wasn't long ago that you were asking me for a divorce. How are you chatting with someone like that already? You weren't really seeing someone else already, but hiding it and using what I've done as a way to get more of our assets in the divorce by any chance, were you? Hey, who are you, you jerk? She's only in the process of getting a divorce at the moment. Nothing's been finalized yet. She's still my wife, so stop all of this nonsense. What? Your boss was a woman, not a man?
How dare you sneak up on me and take my phone out of my hand like that? Give it back!
What? I heard you giggling on the phone to someone, so I was sure that it was a man.
Do you have something wrong with your head? Can't I even talk to my coworkers who are worried about me because I haven't been to work? Can you even function when your head is filled with thoughts like that? What are you doing holding your head up like this?
Why wouldn't I be suspicious when you were giggling on the phone like that? How could you let me think that you were talking to a man and embarrass me like that?
I can't even meet another man in case he turns out to be a moron like you. Get lost.
Why are you being so aggressive towards me? You're scary when you're like this. Oh, can't you speak to me nicely?
Why on earth would I want to speak to you nicely? You want me to say something kind to you? Dumb? You stupid pig! I get so mad even seeing your face like this that I want to grab you by the throat and throw you as far as I possibly can. Won't you please get lost?
That's even scarier than what you said before. You didn't used to be like this. You were a bit rude sometimes, but you were never threatening like you are now.
How much of a pushover must you thought me to be for you to lie and trick me like that for 10 whole years? I've decided that I'm not going to live like that any longer, you see. If I am not going to be taken advantage of again by a jerk like you, I have to pull myself together and look out for myself. Don't you agree?
There's nothing I can say to that. Did you take classes or something?
That's a good idea. I'll start tomorrow. Shall I learn a martial art or something where you can make a person pass out by using pressure points? What do you think?
Oh, Laura, I'll just say this one last thing. Do we really have to get a divorce?
What? Why have you suddenly turned up like this and made me get mad like this again? I can't bear to even look at you any longer. Get lost.
All right, okay, I'm going. I'm leaving, so stop kicking me. Stop it.
What? So Laura's level of contribution was as high as 80%? So all that money that you had...
Yep, they'd also somehow found out about the money that I'd sent to you even. It looks like I'm gonna end up giving her everything. That's not all. I have to pay for the whole court case as well. I just can't believe this has happened.
What? Don't you usually split the bill for the court case?
Nope, the person at fault pays for the court case. That's how the law works, unfortunately.
What a ridiculous law. What a waste.
This is all because of you, Mom. You kept calling Laura, asking her for a new fridge, spending money, loads of different things like that, and all the calls were recorded, so she used them as evidence that counted against me, didn't she? Anyone can see that I spent a lot more on you and Dad than I did on Laura's parents, you see? And that counted against me as well.
Of course I asked Laura for those things. Who else would I ask?
Do you think I got married just to support you or something? You shouldn't have been so greedy. Sure, you can ask for small things, but it was constant. You always wanted something. You even asked me to buy you a car. That really was too much.
Listening to you, anyone would think that it was you who bought me my car, you know. I'm the one paying all the installments on it now.
I bought Dad a car though, didn't I?
So what?
At the moment, every penny is precious to me. There's nothing else for it. You'll have to sell the car.
What? Why do I have to sell my car?
I just mean that now I've lost 80% of my wealth in the divorce, I can't keep spending money on you like I have been up until now, that's all. One car is plenty for the both of you, so you'll have to just sell Dad's car and send the money back to me.
I can't believe you're asking me to do that. Giving someone something and then taking it away again is one of the worst things that you can do to a person. That was my 60th birthday present.
You've driven it for 2 years already, haven't you? If you've had it for that long, I think that's fine as a birthday present.
Oh, you jerk. Hey, why are you sitting there so quietly anyway? Are you just keeping quiet in case Dom decides to sell your car as well?
No, that's not it. The thing is...
No, I can't stand this. I don't know who is worse, my son or my wife. If you're gonna be like that, then this is my house, so get out.
Dad, you can't do that. You're being so childish.
You were the one that started it by trying to make me sell my car. If you let me keep the car, you can keep living with us in the house. If you make me sell it, then you're out. Do you understand?
Wow, I cannot believe that you're being like this. Okay, I'll go. Do you think I'm scared? I have the money to pay rent on somewhere too, you know? Dad, give me the car key right now.
Fine, here it is. Take it, you moron.
You're acting like school children in the playground. If you add your ages together, you're 101. 101 years old. Act like it.
They're really pathetic, aren't they? I can just imagine your faces after listening to my story. How? Because mine is the same as yours is now. The month of separation and the year of divorce proceedings and the division of assets are now a thing in the past. After a lengthy battle of trying to raise my level of contribution as much as possible, the court ruled largely in my favor, which made me feel happy, while also like it was done mostly in vain. Even though I got some money, I'd still lost all the time I'd wasted on that jerk. I'm trying to make myself think positively about the whole situation. instead of being annoyed about the fact that I didn't break up with him sooner. I'm pleased that I found out what he was doing and was able to get out of that relationship when I did. From what I heard from Jenny, Dan, who was told exactly what Dom and his parents were planning and talking about by Jenny, was deeply ashamed and disappointed by them and has cut off all contact with all three of them. He made this big decision as he was worried about growing apart from Jenny if he stayed in contact with them, as she was the one that witnessed what the three of them were planning firsthand. I hope that they can safely break away from that leech of a family and live a long and happy life together. That is the end of my story. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to see more content.